Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another edition of the show, Trek Wednesday. Stardate 2016.181 at 22:05 Eastern Standard Time. I am joined tonight by, yet again, the greatest panel here in all of STO history. Sorry, Bordicus, but you're going to take second place of these guys. Joined here by our Chief Intelligence Officer, the cat who really eats the canary every time after he has a nice big bowl of gravel. Sarcasm Detector.
You got my title wrong again this week.
Well, I thought you were like, never mind. You're never mind. Never mind. I forgot your promotion. My bad. I'm sorry. Admiral Sarcasm Detector. The head of Chief Grumpy Intelligence Agency. Wow, that's a huge promotion. I see. Yes. Our chief of can't wait till Agents of Yesterday so we can be ultra cheesy at everything going on in the game. Captain SOB.
Hello.
Our chief ironic medic who definitely needs to keep the drugs away from everybody on this damn panel. Captain MK.
I heal you, my boy. You are healed.
Odin, I just gotta say, I have done a little bit of upgrading to Alan, our hologram. I've just replaced some of his isolinear chips with bioneural gel packs, and his virtual matrix is currently rebooting. So give it a little bit of time. He'll be popping up soon.
Just so long he doesn't start going yeehaw or howling all over the place, we should be good, right?
No guarantees.
He's
Thanks,
fully functional.
really.
Fully functional.
So, how do you like the market right now?
I love it. I love it. The more people that have access to high-end gear, the better.
SOB, are you doing any sort of crazy market manipulation?
I would never manipulate any markets, but I enjoy this economy.
Someone just bought every leech priced below 24 million about 20 minutes ago. Every single one, 20 plus.
Not very smart. This is not the point where you want to be trying to manipulate the market, especially when it's in a free fall like
Not at
this.
all. It is in incredible flux. I'm not doing anything until it settles down.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love it when the market's like this. This should have come quite a bit sooner, actually. I just wish it was done a little bit before, because really the prices of a lot of things were really out of hand. People were gouging. Like, seriously, people were gouging. They were like hoarding up on items and just holding up onto them and just, drip drabbing them one at a time or one or two at a time on the exchange just to maintain like really high prices. And really, this is...
And we're in free fall, baby.
Yeah, we're in free fall. That's really not the smartest way to, make money. Sure, you make a little bit of profit because, you're getting big bucks for like a few items. But really, what's better for you to make more EC is volume. So the more people you have buying stuff, the more you can make that way. And it's good. And I think it's good because instead of, there's these must-have items that only a very few amount of people can actually afford in the game. Now we have, a lot of things that are really affordable. So someone like me who's really a casual player can now afford a lot more stuff.
Outfit multiple tunes, which was, the game was really getting un-alt friendly. I mean, it's still fairly un-alt friendly, but with AOI coming up, it's going to get cheaper to outfit your tunes, and that's sweet.
I love this lockbox. I've opened almost 2,000 of them so far since they came out yesterday, and I just love it. It's just such a great market.
You've done well too, yeah?
I've actually had a bit of luck winning ships. I think I'm up to 27 as of now.
And how many of those were the T6, the top prize?
So I ended up with 4 ultra rare. So that's the Boff and the Atros, however you pronounce it. 8 of the normal T6 and 15 of the T5s.
And T5s are still pretty decent ships. I mean, they're very competitive.
The T5s have been selling better than the T6s.
Wow.
Because there's all those classic ships that people
Yep.
really want. Galores,
Yep.
Decoras.
I want a Gaylor super bad.
Yeah,
Now-
there's still really good ships there.
They are. I'm actually taking out a one of the Galaxies, not from the Lockbox, obviously, but a couple of the Tier 5 ships. Astro Zombie's been doing a couple of them. I've done some as well, and they're still pretty damn fun to fly. And with AOI just literally around the corner, a lot of folks want to have them not just for Admiralty cards, but for their other tunes as well. So it's something we're going to take on a little bit of a tangent here, but this is a perfect time to start stocking up on a whole bunch of traits, ships, whatever little goodies, Doffs, especially Doffs, for your new tune that you're going to be rolling next week. So, yeah, the market's yours. Buy it up.
It really is a buyer's market, and it's a really, really good thing. And you know what? Made me laugh the most is that it's not just a one-time thing. This is going to happen again every 3 months. Every time they release a new lockbox, this is going to happen again. Absolutely fantastic.
And someone asked in chat if the ship packs bind on pickup. Yes, they do. The ship you choose from the packs is unbound, so you can sell them on the exchange, trade them, do whatever.
This actually makes it really good for traders. I mean, you can stockpile those choice boxes and, someone say, hey, I want X ship. And like, all right, sure. And you open a box and there you go.
Unbox on demand.
The only issue I have with this so far for the ship packs is they are faction specific and they are character bound. You cannot put them in an account bank. So say if you want to get one of the mirror ships, the secondary box, if you wanted to get a Fed one and you opened on a ROM, you're out of luck. You're not going to be able to choose a Fed one.
I wonder if that's I don't think that's intentional market separation so much as it is possibly a mechanic limitation of how the box opens. It'd be nice to get some dev response on what, but I don't think that it's a dick move.
So you're saying something like a functional database limitation then?
Yeah, I don't sense any malice there. At least I don't. We can always ask and confirm.
Yeah, we can always ask and confirm, or it's just something that they programmed really quickly, you could say, and it's missing features. So going forward, they might add some of these features.
Yeah, this lockbox is missing some things actually currently. It's missing all of the starship traits. They do not have those hooked up to it yet.
Interesting. But apart from that, the prices of ships have plummeted. The prices of consoles has dropped significantly. Prices of Doffs have dropped. So this is
Everything
actually,
must go.
Yeah, everything. Even the prices of traits have dropped, though. Have they gone back up?
Some. IL was down really, really low and rebounded a bit. Biotech patch, because it's more rare, I've seen that fluctuate quite a bit.
Yeah, master key prices have gone up, and the price of Zen has skyrocketed. It is, wow, it is just, it's crazy at the moment. I mean, the demand is so high for the keys and the Zen, so wow. Oh, Michael Hall says in chat, Board said the Starship Trades thing was on purpose.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
So the only way to actually get the Starship traits from X boxes is actually go and find those boxes then.
Interesting. Now, are they still selling the random different boxes in the Dill store?
No, only the Infinity.
All right. Well, in that case, that is retarded.
I'm not guessing that it's a permanent solution. It's possible that they're dreaming up something completely different for Starship traits. So again, wait and see if he really said that omission is intentional, then I have to assume there's something coming.
Well, yeah, sure. Why
I
not?
have to assume. I literally cannot wrap my mind around anything else. Like, nope, no more Starship traits for you guys. You have to hunt down the old boxes.
I'm
Since they
sorry,
were very...
McKay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, McKay. Are you also going to assume that we're going to get elite queues and no win scenario back?
I said assume. I didn't say I'd bet on it.
This is Cryptic we're talking about. They might have, discussed that, yeah, we're going to do something in the future, and it's not going to get done.
I will say we'll see, because I'm attempting to pull up the Reddit thread in particular in order to be able to get the direct quote from Bordicus. But based off of what other folks are saying right now, and I have no reason to doubt them at this point, Bortz has stated that there will be something coming down the pipeline. So right now, they seem to be on a decent track as far as following through what they're saying without mincing words. So if they say something and they spell it out and then they follow through with it, great. If they say one thing, do something else completely, and don't say why, don't spell it out, don't give any warning, hey, we're changing directions, that's a problem. So this was mostly spelled out.
Regarding this, I'm pretty cautiously optimistic. I have to give them that. I mean, if we batter them every single time, we can, they're still people. I'm not trying to really apologize for them, but I'm just saying, let's show them a little faith this time and see what happens. I mean, we responded well to the Lockbox, and they like that.
I mean, no lie, the Lockbox got rid of a lot of fluff in there, and people are actually being able to get to stuff that normally would not have been able to afford. That's a genius move. Period. We would just like to see a level of consistency in the positive direction to where we can sit back and breathe. And so far, we're starting to see that. I would like to reserve judgment until everything is said and done, and then say, good job, thumbs up, it could be better, or thumbs down, no, here's how you can improve it.
It's not like part of me doesn't feel like Cam does, too. I mean, we've had our ups and downs regarding the dev relationship and things like that. We've had great contact, at times, and then we've had complete radio silence at times as well. And, we're people too on the fan side, and we have feelings. And to get beat around like that a little bit, you start to feel like a battered spouse after a while. So it's not like I don't empathize, Cam. I do. I really do, and I do kind of feel salty sometimes. But I'm trying very, very hard right now to have some good faith. AOI looks to be like it'll turn out okay. And if they keep up this communication, especially Bort lately has been very communicative, and Universal Spartan 2 has been great at clarifying things that they're putting out in blogs and not being clear about. So maybe they can improve there. And also edit their blogs to not scare the crap out of the player base. But anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Okay, so
you know what I mean regarding scaring the players too. Sorry.
Yeah. So Michael Hall just posted Bort's comment, and I'm guessing this is a quote. I'm not sure if it's a power quote or whatever, but I can't answer that question right now in regards to the Starship traits. We know that they're not in the drop tables, though. It's not an accident. So if those come back, then I'll be really happy to pick up some of those traits that I'm not missing and, use them in Terradome and No Win Scenario and those elite queues. Remember
think we're good
Terradome,
with that.
guys.
I think we're good with that.
My heart's still a little bit broken about that, about NWS, et cetera, et cetera. So like that's a couple of black marks. But like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, what we have coming down here, as far as being cautiously optimistic for this week's patch notes for Holodeck, SOB, could you tell us the very long list of things that are going on here in this Holodeck patch? I know it's not a knock at Cryptic, it's just being sarcastic as far as a long list of patch notes in this patch note.
We are in the quiet week before the storm, as I would say with these, but it's not much for this week. Simply, they're putting the Nicole items back in the Lobby store because they accidentally took them out the other day.
Whoopsie! Okay. It's okay.
Is there any
It's okay.
red shirt patch notes that's it? Interesting.
That's it for Holodeck. But, because look at Tribble. Look at what's on Tribble, though. There is a bunch of stuff on there that I'm looking through and I'm saying, yeah, these are some decent patch notes right here.
A lot of polish for AOY. Wow, that's a tongue twister to say.
It's AOY,
Oi.
buddy. AOY.
Aioi. Yeah. Aioi. We'll call it that.
Hey, you know what? I bet you the folks who are using the T1 Constitution class playership phasers, they now have an additional damage mod, so it now matches the blue quality level.
Ooh, so they were a bit underpowered. Yeah, we kind of knew that. That's it. I'm going to have to whip mine out and...
Giggity.
I was going to say wreck face, but no, that's not going to happen.
Personally, the kinetic community is waiting for the big fix / mechanics change to Omega Kinetic sharing. That's going to make torp boats and side torp captains a bit more powerful. Since Omega Kinetic sharing was classified as a dot yet not a dot to be treated with the new skill tree, they decided to change the mechanics / fix the bug so where Omega Kinetic sharing wasn't being affected any direction by resists, either positive or negative hull resists. So the big takeaway from this real quick is if you're doing damage from a torpedo to a target and you have Omega Kinetic sharing, the 40% damage that it takes from that torpedo is going to count before shields or any other resists. That is a huge improvement because currently right now it's looking at whatever damage makes it to hull. So if you're shooting on a shielded target, 75% of that torpedo damage off the bat goes nowhere. It is just erased from history. Doesn't count towards anything. And then you have to deal with the other 25% going to the shield and minus whatever bleed through makes it to hull. Now that tiny piece that makes it to hull is minuscule. And then Omega Kinetic Sharing looks at that and saying, okay, give me 40% of this. And I'm going to do this as a dot. But the dot doesn't count for or after. Yes, Frank, this is going to make torpedo damage beautiful. Because if you do a 100k torpedo with your player buffs right before it hits that target with shields, that 100k is going to be looked at by Omega Kinetic Sharing and is going to take 40% of that 100k now. So no more 75% of your damage being gone. You're now looking at a 40k Omega Kinetic Sharing dot on that target that will be subjected to hull resists. That is the second part of the kicker. The second part there. So if you're running with SOB and he's using his coalition disruptors and hitting every single target out there, and he's debuffing them, well, you're going to get the regular disruptor proc. But that Omega Kinetic Sharing will benefit from the disruptor proc. It's going to be a beautiful day to be a Torpor.
You had me worried for a minute, Odin. You were talking about coalitions buffing them, but they only debuff disruptor damage.
Right, but they do have the standard disruptor proc, correct?
No.
No, alright, I'm mistaken then. I thought they had a disruptor and then they benefit from the enhanced. Never mind. All
No,
right,
you're benefiting by us running the Science Ultimate with the debuff we have on that. So that's a minus 50 debuff we're applying to everything, basically.
The Science debuff only applies to you.
The Science Ultimate applies a debuff that
To the targets.
to all of the targets that I hit with, that I get crits on. So if you time the Psi Ultimate right, that's 2 cycles of Fa hitting targets. You're going to hit a lot of stuff.
I stand corrected on the coalitions, obviously. The Psi Ultimate, though, is going to be on the target, not just benefiting the player only. But regular disruptors, or anything like Attack Pattern Beta, Chemocide, etc., will debuff the target. Your Mega Kinetic Sharing dot will benefit from that. That is like the huge quality of life improvement right there. So if you're using a TDD and you get a 400k hit on that target, 4 shields, yeah.
The other thing I want to mention from the Tribble patch is they have changed the temporal specialization T4 ability. Before it had this automatic teleport you 8 kilometers back. They've replaced that with a stun and hold for 4 seconds.
Stun target and hold it for 4.
No, it stuns you and holds you for 4 seconds. It's basically just a last resort little feature. When you're taken below 10% hit points, it triggers, and if you have threatening stance off, it will reset your threat against everything. And it also has a few other nice buffs. When I'm looking at this specialization, I think it may actually have the potential to replace Intel as our primary specialization for DPS builds.
Interesting.
How so?
So for like Cam and I, we like to use a lot of exotic abilities on our builds also. And I forget most of the abilities in here, but one of them that I do remember was when you trigger an exotic damage ability, you get a proc for your energy weapons that increases your firing cycle haste, and it has multiple stacks. So I think that's going to outweigh the flanking that we're not always benefiting from the Intel tree.
Yeah, but there's still the Intel fleet.
That's true.
That would be painful to use. I mean, that one's massive.
Right, but it's only what, for 5-minute cooldown, 30-second benefit versus something is going to be always on.
Technically, if you do it right, Intel fleet is always on.
Well, in a group situation where everybody has it, true.
And if not, then you just time it. You can control and time it for best effect. But yeah, I agree with Spencer. The temporal spec looks very, very interesting. It's going to need some testing, but tentatively, it's got the potential to be better than the Intel spec.
If it doesn't eat a few massive nerfs after release, which there's a sad trend for.
Yeah, once everyone's spent their money on it.
True, but we said that about all hands on deck, and what happened there?
All hands on deck could be improved a little bit as well, but in any event.
Anything else of note that we should probably pay a little bit more attention to? And we know that Darth Proteus has been messing around on Tribble as well and getting us some nice, raw, and juicy intel on a couple of powers, so we do appreciate that.
Okay, thanks, Darth. Yeah, the flanking is not that big of a deal. I mean, it's more important for PvP. I mean, for PvE, sure, it does help if you get yourself positioned correctly on like the transformers and all that shenanigans. But if you're a science heavy, exotic heavy DPS build, then the temporal spec is probably going to benefit you significantly more than the intel spec. If you're the classical energy weapon build without a lot of exotic, then I don't know. I think that intel would still be superior in that regard. It's still yet to be seen. I mean, we still have to test all this out. I mean, we don't give the final verdict on this like this early. We have to spend hours testing it. Well, other people have to spend hours testing it. I don't do that anymore.
No, you catch your downvotes in an all-new subreddit now.
Wow. So what would it take to bring Sarcasm Detector back into the testing ranks of STO?
That's a really good question, actually.
Poopy dinos.
DeFera?
The what?
The what?
I thought you said DeFera.
No, I said poopy dinos. I'm guessing something with Dyson.
Well, it could be Dyson. Never mind. Wait, which one has a big T-Rex on it?
V-Rex, Dyson ground, yeah. The BZ.
Yep, it's Dyson. Alright.
Nothing like kicking a dino in the dick.
Ouch. Anyway. So, what we have going on here. You know what? Let's go to this while we were a bit on what's coming out next week. Ship stats, Sarcasm Detector. They've been released.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm
your
so
thoughts?
happy. I'm actually happy. I've taken a look at these ships and looked at their stats, and I'm really happy with all three of these ships. All three of them are absolutely fantastic. I don't know if Spencer, if you've had a chance to, well, you've obviously had time. You've spent more time on this than I do. But
I've been skimming through just now. I have been pretty busy with Lockbox today to look at these dev blogs.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different this time. But okay, let's talk about the ship, guys. Let's talk about these ships. So the first one, the Eternal class, the Tier 6 Vesta is here, finally. The only gripe that I have with this is that it's well, with the Vesta you had the three variants, right? The operations, the science, and the tactical version. And I absolutely love the tactical version. This is just basically the science version. So it's the science Vesta Tier 6. But apart from that, absolutely fantastic little ship. It looks great. It looks like definitely looks like a upgraded Welsh ship crossed with a little bit of Klingon, a little bit of Romulan, which makes sense, basically, according to the canon lore, whatever that's behind these ships. Just looking at the stats, the shield modifier, 1.475. So it's going to have a lot of shields, probably. That's at the top end of the shields, I believe. I don't think there's anything higher than that. 3 weapons in front, 3 in the back. You know what? I'm fine with that. It is still a science ship. You know, I was kind of hoping we'd get like a 4-3 in that regards, but that's okay. 3-3 is fine. It has a hangar bay, just like the Vesta does. So absolutely fantastic. Bridge officer stations are interesting. Lieutenant Tactical / Temporal, Lieutenant Commander Engineering, thumbs up for that. And Ensign Science, yeah, you guys know my opinion on locked-in ensigns. A Commander Science / Temporal, and a Lieutenant Commander Universal. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love this bridge officer layout apart from the ensign science. 3 tactical, 3 engineering, 5 science consoles. Fairly nimble. 11.5 and 0.15 impulse modifier, 40 inertia. So it turns pretty decently. It's not that fast though. Apart from that, it's got this, sensor analysis, subsystem targeting. I still wish that they would give us different tiers of that for the different tiers of starships. So by the time you get to a tier 5, tier 6 science ship, you have upgraded subsystem targetings that would go a long way to improving science ships. And apart from that, the standard package, science ship package, exotic damage, max shield healing, shield regen, and the particle feedback loop starship traits, which we'll talk about all the traits towards the end. Sorry, no, go ahead.
I'm actually not bothered by the ensign science on this because I've had a lot of luck running 2 copies of Tachyon Beam 1 recently on my Paradox with its locked-in ensign science also. And with Drain Infection, it's actually doing a pretty decent amount of DPS, and it's great if you've got that improved Tachyon Beam trait also from the Science Command Cruiser or Battle Cruiser.
Yes. Well, for science itself, the science bridge officer abilities, you have a lot to choose from. You have more to choose from than in tactical or engineering. Engineering, you have the emergency powers, of which you can only use 2, and then engineering team.
And then the ability from the winter event, I can't remember its name, and then structural integrity collapse.
Okay, well, those are, okay. Thank you. They've added a couple to engineering.
Yeah.
Tactical is a little bit better in that regard. So you also have the Kima site, by the way, whose prices is chopped. So science is good in that regard. So, I never have a problem with, having extra ensign, or sorry, not ensign, but extra science seating. It's always good. I mean, polarized hull, for example, just, instead of the normal hazard emitters and science team, you can add something like polarized hull at that very bottom, and that's really, really helpful. It has a pretty interesting console. The I can't words tonight. The causal anchor, which we'll also talk about towards the end here. But let's move on to the next ship, the Temporal Dreadnought, the Kronos class. And this one's not actually a science ship, but it's a very science-heavy dreadnought. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, the hull is kind of, but shielding is nice. 1.15 for 4 weapons. 5 slots is normal for a dreadnought. Bridge offers. I really cannot talk tonight. I guess I'm just way too happy, maybe. But Lieutenant Commander Tactical and Ensign Engineering. Yeah. 1 Commander Engineering with / Temporal. 1 Lieutenant Commander Science. And then a Lieutenant Universal / Temporal Operative. That's actually an interesting layout for bridge officers. And I see some potential in there. But that Ensign Engineering, why? I wish we had like 2 universals in here. That would have made this ship perfect. 4 tactical consoles, 4 engineering, 3 science. This is one of my preferred console layouts for a cruiser / dreadnought, pretty much the same as the Sheshar and a couple others. But check this out. For a dreadnought, turn rate of 9.5. That's on the upper ends of what cruisers can do, towards the upper end of what cruisers can do. but on a dreadnought. I think the only other dreadnought that comes remotely close to this is the Zindi dreadnought. And I don't remember exactly what it had. It might have been 9. It might actually be 10. I don't remember. Maybe someone in chat knows, can check it up. But the funny thing here, yes, it's got a 9.5 turn rate, but its inertia is still pretty low at 35. So this thing's going to fishtail like crazy. It does have a hangar bay. It's a dreadnought. And standard dreadnought mastery package. The starship trait is exotic modulation. We're going to talk about that soon. It's pretty interesting. And a chronotachyon capacitor universal console. Very, very interesting. Now, the third ship, the Temporal Raider, the Ouroboros, whatever. I don't care how you pronounce it. Call it whatever you want. This is the Tier 6 Raider. And now let's take a second here and just think about all the previous Raiders. We've had a number of Raiders come out recently, Tier 6 Raiders come out recently. And you look at those, and then you look at this ship, and it is not a comparison. This ship is absolutely fantastic. So let's take a look here. It's shield modifier 0.925. It's got low hull. Yeah, okay. 4 weapons, 4, and aft weapons 2. Okay. Standard Raider. I mean, that's fairly okay for a Raider. Bridge officer stations. Hold on. Lieutenant Universal / Temporal Operative. 2 Lieutenant Commander Universal. 1 Commander Universal Temporal Operative. Yes, the ship is completely
Jack of all trades.
Completely universal. So a commander, 2 lieutenant commanders, and a lieutenant. 4 bridge officers. All of them are universal. Let that sink in for a moment. Console layout. 5 tactical, 3 engineering, 3 science, which is okay. I'm sorry. This is I just find this a little bit amusing. I mean, this ship is really nice. 5 tactical, 3 engineering, 3 science. It's great for a Raider. You don't need much more than that. Impulse modifier 0.23. So it's going to be one of the fastest ships out there. I mean, I think there's only the fastest out there is 0.24. There might be a 0.25 ship out there. Turn rate is 22.5. There might be a ship that's faster than that out there as well. And inertial modifier of 80. So this thing is going to be really, really zippy. Can load dual cannons, obviously. It's a tactical ship. But hold on. I'm not done yet, guys. I'm not done yet. Battle cloak.
But wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. Battle cloak. So Battle Cloak, it's a Raider, so it's got the flanking. It's got crazy bridge officer seating. It's got some pretty decent console layout. It's nimble as fuck. So we haven't seen a ship like, not even the Romulans have ships like this. This has some really interesting potential here. If used properly, it's going to be fragile, but it's going to be a lot of fun to fly. People are really, really going to love these ships. Mastery package has got, the Raider package, accuracy, defense, all damage, critical severity, and a regroup starship trait. And the console, my God, tactical system stabilized. All right, let's move on here. Spencer, did you have anything to comment about the ships before we talk about the consoles?
I really wish I wouldn't have blown all my Zen on keys a few days ago, because I do want to get this entire pack now. I'm going to have to wait another week, sadly.
You know what? I would recommend don't spend like $130 or whatever it is to get the whole pack. Screw it, just spend $90 and get these 3 ships. Just these 3 ships. Everything else, whatever. Meh. I don't care. These 3. Let's talk about these consoles. So the first one, causal anchor from the science ship. It comes equipped with the causal anchor. While this console is equipped, your ship is capable of forcibly realigning any local anomalies in the time stream. I see your reality and say, fuck it. This causes a pair of temporal anomalies to appear near your target. They will move slowly towards your target. At the time of the activation of the ability, anything that touches it's going to suffer physical damage, power drain, and flight speed reduced, and be pulled towards the anomaly. The strength of each one grows as they approach one another. Once they come in contact with each other, there will be an earth-shattering kaboom. Some passive bonus, exotic damage, critical chance. So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that in action, really, especially on some of the really heavy exotic ships that we fly. Just wow. I mean, like we're throwing Gravwells and Tychons Rifts and TBRs and all kinds of shenanigans around anyways. What's one more, right? The chronotachyon capacitor that comes with the dreadnought. This might actually be beneficial for tankers, maybe. I don't know. When this ability is activated, your starship will draw the attention of nearby foes. You will recover hit points and shield hit points each time you are hit by directed energy weapons, and you'll gain a stack of the chronotachyon capacitance after a short time. This effect will end, and you'll gain a short duration buff to energy damage, critical hit, and severity based on the number of stacks you get. So, wow. It's basically a taunt, and could you call it a thorns? It's not really a thorns, really, but it's a taunt. You get attacked, you get buffed up, and then you hit them back. Also provides passive hull capacity and engineering readiness. So that is engineering readiness actually is a really fantastic skill to have. But let's move on to the next one here. Tactical System Stabilizer. It comes with the Raider. While this console is equipped, your starship is capable of activating an ability that will overcharge your starship's weapon systems and tactical computers for a short time. Your weapon cycle haste is dramatically increased, and your bridge officer recharge times are reduced slightly every few seconds. Oh. We get another one of these. So it's basically very similar to the console that you get with the Quantum Science ship, which is a universal console, fits on any ship. But wow, another haste buff.
Remind me how good haste is for Torps again.
Now, here's the thing. It doesn't say what type of weapons. Most haste types only affect energy weapons. I think almost all of them affect only energy weapons. But who knows? Maybe this time they included torpedoes. Not that I care because it's torpedoes, but...
Yeah, we know. Somebody's got to look out for the community.
Kind of zoned out a bit when you were talking about kinetics. Whatever. You were talking something torpedoes earlier. I kind of almost fell asleep.
As soon as you hear the word torpedo, you just sort of glaze over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, somebody's got to hit hard for all those people running HSE.
True. So, you do hit hard.
Actually, I prefer just, the feedback pulse strategy now, Odin.
Yeah, but that's ultra cheese, man.
Now that is good kinetics. The exotic kinetic, yeah, that's good kinetics. That's actually really useful. That's good. But anyways, set bonuses. 2-piece is directed energy damage and maximum hull hit points, and the 3-piece is just a reduction in the recharge time of all the consoles. So these are actually pretty interesting consoles. I don't know. I don't see someone running all 3 pieces. I don't know if that's viable for most builds, but at least 1 or 2, maybe. I mean, you really don't have to go for the maximized maximum DPS. I mean, you can tune down a little bit and have some fun. But I'm liking these consoles, each one for its own reason, obviously. But I do like these consoles, and when they say dramatically increases weapon cycle haste, I'm hoping it's actually a dramatic increase, because we know how they are and wording. But let's move on to the starship trade. Can you guys tell I'm just a little bit giddy about these ships?
I would never have guessed.
Actually,
want a
yeah,
room?
I wouldn't have guessed that you'd be so excited about this stuff.
So the starship traits, particle feedback. You will unlock the particle feedback loop starship trait on reaching mastery level 5. While this trait is slotted, using exotic damage ability will provide a small bonus to armor penetration. Stacks up to 3 times.
That's mean.
Now, okay, let's move on. Exotic modulation. Again, tier 5, you unlock this. While this trait is slotted, using directed energy modulation or any temporal operative ability will provide a large boost to exotic damage. Wow. Let me take a breath and move on to the last one. Regroup. When this is slotted, your attack pattern bridge officer abilities will reduce the recharge time on engineering and temporal bridge officer abilities. So it's kind of like a reciprocity, not a reciprocity, but you know what I'm talking about for engineering and temporal. That one's okay. It's good. I mean, reduction recharge time on engineering abilities is actually something we've wanted for a long time. We've had a whole bunch of tactical reductions and science reductions, but we've really missed that engineering reduction. That and the console from the Dreadnought might make it possible to run like an emergency power to weapons and shields at the same time without having to go overboard with duty officers or certain bridge officers, and a lot of skill invested into cycling those powers. It's going to be interesting to test this out. Of course, we get new pets with this pack for both the Dreadnought and the Eternal, and they're called Epoch Fighters. And just going to skip all the way down to the elite, because really, who's going to get the normal or advanced fighters? Really, come on, guys. So they're going to have...
afford.
Pardon me?
They're all that I can afford, though.
Right. So...
Well, maybe you weren't such a terrible businessman, Spencer.
I'm sure his father has like a trust fund set apart for him or something. You never know. But 2 anti-proton beam arrays and a chronoton torpedo launcher, channel deconstruction, and beam fire at will. Another pet with fire at will. Yes. Anti-proton fire at will as well. So, and these are fighters. So we're going to have, 6 of them out from a hangar bay? Comes equipped. Okay, now here's what I want to know. Okay, I'm just reading here. These fighters are unlocked in the store as long as you own the science, the eternal order, Chronos, but can they be fit on something else? These might be interesting to try on a Jupiter, maybe. They might actually be better than the ones that came with the paradox. Now, okay, guys, let's calm down for a second here. Calm down, everyone. Relax. Sit down. Quit getting overexcited, okay? And I don't know if they're gonna have the rainbow anti-proton, but that'd be actually pretty interesting if they did. Here's the thing. Here's the big thing. These are not Lockbox ships. These amazing, absolutely beautiful ships are not a gamble. They're not Lockbox ships. They're not Lobby ships. They're C-Store ships. OMFG. I think I need to go lie down now.
Somebody go get him a towel, please. And some extra gravel.
I think I need a sock.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Yeah, I think
Soon.
you're done here.
I'm done talking about these ships for now. Spencer, I don't know. You guys, what are your opinions on the ships?
I'll be getting the pack once I have enough Zen, which, as I said before, is delayed because I went a bit key crazy and spent all my Zen on keys the other day because of this new lockbox.
I'm not in a rush, but I could always use a good damage dealing trader too, so I'll probably pick up one of the ships at least. It'd be nice if some of those consoles were truly universal and not just locked to the temporal ships, but I know why they can't be.
Heavy science using captains will love at least one of these ships. Definitely two of the traits. Side torpors and the rest of the kinetic community, we're probably going to be looking at this and saying, let's wait and see what else comes down the pipeline with it. But some people will be buying this straight out with cold hard cash, like Darth Proteus. If I just look up and see that already over there. So thank you very much for supporting Cryptic and Chakotay.
Now, hold on. I want to ask something here. Spencer, you said you're going to buy it with Zen. That was my intention as well. But I've looked in the Zen store and I can't find it. Is this actually available to buy by Zen?
It will be when Agents of Yesterday launches, if they do the pack like they've done all of the previous packs.
Now, will it be full price? Or is it going to be still on discount?
I believe initially they're on sale. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, though. We'll have to get someone at Cryptic to tell us.
Yeah, that would be useful. I can't actually remember. I'm getting old. I don't remember what happened with the Delta Rising Operations pack. I know it was on sale. I bought it with cash. It was on sale for quite a while, and then it went on for Zen after it was released. But I can't quite remember if it was still at a discounted price when it went on for sale for Zen. Because I wanted to buy it with Zen, and I've already invested a little bit of money and put it into Zen. I have that sitting aside waiting so I could, either buy a ship or two from this pack, or, if I raise some more money, buy all the ships or the whole pack. But if it's going to be full price upon release, then screw that dog shit.
But while we're talking about Zen and stuff, the Dill to Zen exchange is another thing that's went crazy recently. We're slowly approaching that 500-to-1 cap.
I thought we did briefly hit it.
From what I heard,
Is that
it
not
briefly
so?
hit 490.
Ah.
Yeah, that's insane. A few months ago, we were sitting at 300 something.
I think a month ago it was still in the 300s.
Yep. Less than a month ago, it was in the high 300s. because I traded in some then, thinking that it would climb a little bit more. Didn't climb a little bit more.
It climbed a lot more. I'm glad I'm still holding on to that Zen that I have. I don't foresee it going back down, though. But
So
yeah, we're gonna be pretty much like Neverwinter, where it's just, it's hit the max 500 and stayed there, right?
it did. I believe it came down after a while, but Bordicus did tweet that they are looking into what they could potentially do, I guess, with the deal exchange. I imagine they don't want it to hit 500. I saw a lot of people on like Reddit and in game saying, "Why not just release another fleet holding?" The issue is that fleet dilithium is no longer a drain on the dill, just for the majority of players, due to the fact of how we now have those dill vouchers for fleet projects that you can get by converting your dilithium mining claims at the asteroid. A lot of people were sitting on hundreds, if not thousands of those, and a lot of people are sitting on a lot of dilithium right now that they can just toss at will into any fleet project or rep project.
Yeah, so a fleet holding is basically like a band-aid over a floodgate. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna do much. If it does anything, it's all gonna be temporary, very short.
So, an idea I had that would upset some people, like the ones that open a lot of lockboxes and hoard all the stuff, would be to have just like a small little Lobi box that doesn't require a key to open in the dill store that gives anywhere from like 2 to 6 Lobi and charge like 8k dill for it. I mean, that's going to knock down the prices of Lobi ships, and you'd have a lot of people wanting to just go straight that route to use the day of their dill to help get items from the Lobi store, like the weapons and stuff, because that would be, what, maybe a week, and you'd get a Lobi gun? Maybe a week and a half?
Now that actually is a fantastic idea, having a direct Lobi or direct dill to Lobi converter. Add a little bit of RNG to it, like you said, anywhere from 4 to 6. Actually, for 8k dill, I would expect a little bit more than 4 to 6 Lobi.
Well, I was looking at it, but the comparison is like if you want to get 900 Lobi right now to get like a ship, you have to open about 180 boxes on average, which right now is what, like almost 8-9 million dilithium, maybe a little bit less, but at 2 to 6 per box, you're still talking about, it would cost probably like a mil and a half, maybe 2 million if you're not lucky for a full T6 Lobi ship, which that's still significant, but that would put a drain on all the dill people are sitting on without converting over to Zen.
Okay, we have someone's. It's Maria. Hey, Maria. She's saying that direct dill to Lobi converter is bad idea. Allow Cryptic to set the value of dilithium, which would create an official exchange rate. Well, isn't that what's basically going on, though? I mean, you can convert Zen to dill.
Well,
So what's the difference comparing,
I think the metric that's used right now for gauging the worth of dill is keys, because there's a set price for keys via Zen. And then that right there is your standard, well, I hate to use the pun, gold standard, but key standard to measure the value of dill. So how is that any different from saying, okay, here's Lobi now being the Lobi standard for dill?
You okay? You don't touch that, but you are planning on looking into that, though. So this is yeah, there is some supply and demand. So market forces affect the price of dill, the exchange rate of Zen to dill. But like someone else pointed out, there is a EC to dill exchange as well, which is probably also market driven somewhat. There might be a little bit of gouging in that regards. But I don't know if you can, if it doesn't have to be absolutely direct. I mean, you can maybe like a mini lockbox with, I don't know, chance for, you'll get a little bit of lobby and a chance for something else. I don't know. Maybe set the dill value to fluctuate according to demand and supply and demand.
All right. Well, you know what? Drop us a name. We'll actually bring him on the show, and then we will definitely have a discussion on that, if you would be so kind to do so. And we'll definitely do that along with a couple of the in-game economists, and we'll have a nice, healthy discussion on it. We'll take player questions as well. How about that?
It's an interesting idea, yeah.
As we continue on.
So it was a good idea, Spencer.
I still like the idea, even if it's some sort of manifestation of that idea. I do like it, where we can actually take dill and in some way, shape, or form directly convert that over into lobby or chance at lobby, but gain something else, like a mini lockbox, like what Sarcasm has stated.
Actually, you know what I would like? I mean, they've already taken a step in this direction with this Infinity Lockbox, unifying all the different lockboxes out there. If they can do something similar with the currencies that we have, I just don't even want to begin counting. But we have so many different types of currencies. There are so many. I mean, I wish we had something that is just simple, like a universal mark, instead of having 15 different reputation marks plus the fleet marks.
Plus commodities,
plus commodities,
plus a lot of other junk.
Plus elite tokens, plus this, plus that, plus this. You got the lobby and the Zen and the EC, and then the gold press platinum on top of that. Yeah, if that could be simplified, do something similar to what was done with the lock boxes.
Back in the day of the prototype tech drops. They had different reputations, you remember? And they consolidated all of those, and the stated reason was we want to, simplify the currency system. And now they have probably twice as many as that date.
Yeah, it would, especially, going into the console market and we're going to get a lot of new players, just both on, PC and the console as well. It's true, it adds depth, but it might be too deep.
It's adding complexity. It's adding a lot of debatable complexity. You know what I mean? Like what you said a little bit earlier regarding the step in the right direction with the Infinity Lockbox, absolutely. And I think they're going to continue that, and maybe revisit some older mechanics with this simplification aspect in mind. And that's going to benefit the console players, and it's probably going to benefit the PC side as well. Like, for example, to be able to submit energy credits instead of commodities. It's basically the same thing. That'd be great.
They already simplified that a little bit. That was pretty good, but they need to take it further. Now, there is a problem with that, and the problem is you end up people just running like one queue all the time, or one or two queues all the time to get as many marks as possible. They'll find the queue with the biggest mark payout, and they'll just run that. Or the queue that's quickest and easiest to run. Maybe there still might
You're
be a
not
queue out there.
you're not wrong about that at all. Not even a little bit. You're 100% correct. But the problem is then that in order to make sure these queues are getting populated, etc., they're adding more currencies and things like that in order to drive players in that direction, and that's probably the wrong way to go. It's probably more logical simply to make queues more fun.
One thing, well, yeah, obviously make them more fun, but in regards to that problem of people just focusing on one queue to get all their marks, what they can do is put a bigger cooldown on it. So, for example, you run ISA, and the first time you run ISA on that day, you'll get your universal mark, and maybe it doesn't have to be once a day, but something in that regards, once every 12 hours, once every 6 hours, something like that. You can only get the mark drop from that queue that one time. So if you want more, if you actually want to farm for the marks, you're going to have to do as different queues. You're going to have to jump in and do all those plethora of queues that are sitting there with 0 people in them.
Another way you could go at it is you run a series of 3 queues in order to get 1 reward out of the 3. Like the world tour that so many people like to run with Hive and Cure and Kittimer and Infected, kind of legitimize a reward from that set of 4 queues and say, okay, if you run all 4 in a 24-hour period, you get this extra reward or something like that, perhaps.
Yeah, that would be actually a pretty good idea, like a little bit of a bonus extra on top of it. And,
Sure,
so
it doesn't
it'll,
have to be much.
yeah, and that way you can keep everything in their respective reputation, for example. So you run the 2 or 3 Voth queues to actually, get the small bonus from that, or the, whatever, the Herald queues, or, you can even alternate to have like
Sure.
maybe do 1 or 2 space and 1 or 2 ground.
Exactly, which would make ground more populated. Ground is already fun. For the people out there that haven't tried it or have it in their mind somehow that it's not fun, give it another shot. It is a lot of fun.
I don't know, man, but yeah, they're actually putting down a torpedo on the ground that I might like. Proteus has been trying to sell me on this thing, and it might actually be good, so you might see me on the ground a little bit. But we'll
Mr.
see.
Wolf, unlock the armory.
Just give me the biggest torpedo you can launch on the ground. I'll be doing it.
I told you, if it's not quantum, don't even leave home.
We're certainly in for some interesting times, especially regarding the STO economy.
Now, in preparation for new players as well as players who just want to find the most efficient way of leveling up their tunes, we definitely have a guide by the original Bucky33 over at Reddit, who finally finished part 3 of 3, and we'll be posting all 3 of the guides on how to level up very efficiently, as well as give you some information to pick up along the way while you're leveling. Oh, you might want to do this or get this or unlock this, blah, blah, blah. So he has that there. Now, it does not include any of the AOI stuff, but it does help you along with any other tunes you want to level up. If you want to make another alt to do XYZ, Dill Refinement, whatever. Contraband Farmer, whatever. You can do it here. He's also done something else and issued up something of a challenge where if you have any of these other ships in here, how would you design it as if it were a NPC in-game, and then play it as if it were an NPC in-game on some of the player maps. So he's also done that, and he's included the build and what his performance was for each one of these here, so we're going to put it up on there. And it was actually a pretty good read-up on to see this type of experiment using Mark 10 weapons and gear, and what he was able to do, not do, how he can improve, etc. So I think this will make him a better pilot, and anybody else who wants to do this it also helped them become a better pilot as well, because you're not relying on power creep to power you through those maps. You're going to have to be skillful and knowing when to activate abilities and what will benefit what, when, where, and why, and then positioning yourself and then maximizing your firepower based off of the target that's in front of you, behind you, or will be facing. Yeah, this will make you get good real quick, aside from just smashing spacebar. Now, STO Builds does have a posting on the new temporal ships. If you have any experience with them on Tribble, or you want to just read what other people are discussing about them and see if it may be good for you or your builds, we'll include the link in the show notes. Go discuss them there.
Thank you kindly.
Go on.
I just said thank you kindly.
Well, yes, of course. Come on. You guys help us out. The least we can do is help you out with this.
Now, we always appreciate the traffic, but remember, the more people that come and post, the more information that's out there. So it's nice to see some participation.
It'd be interesting to see the opinions of some of the very knowledgeable people over at STO Builds in regards to these ships. Oh, these ships, man, these ships. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right. You need a bigger towel.
Cam's quitting ARC for life.
What we are seeing, though, on STO Builds, we're seeing a new grouping of experts coming in who are specializing in one type of build or another, and we're welcoming that. I'm like, yeah, we need to be able to have somebody else to take up the torch and spread the knowledge around, or devise new ways to be good with these type of builds that we see coming around here. Obviously, we all know the Iconium meta exists, blah blah blah, but there's some people who swap around the 4-piece for a 3-piece X, Y, or Z. Side torps are there. Mine layers for fun are there. The contest we're about to throw down will be coming up soon. The 602 fleet, who has postponed their Tier 3 ship challenge. That is actually going to be a very interesting build. Some of the folks have already been working on that already. So they will be somebody picking up the reins on that one and then guiding that tournament to where it can actually come through. And we will actually have a nice, how can you design this without using all of this extra cheese and power creep in order to have a good PvP match with Tier 3 ships and the very basic items that you have that is available to all players in the game. So I would be very interested to see what people can come up with and how well they fly that craft against other players. And there was a gentleman out in the community there who wanted to have a side torp build with their Crenum Science ship. So I made a couple modifications to their build. It wasn't that much. I filled out the skill tree. You have 5 points available to you to play anywhere you want. If you're heavy psi, you're covered. You want to use a little bit more energy weapons on that, you got 5 points to play with. Drop all 3 into the energy weapons. You got 2 more points. Throw it wherever the heck you want. But otherwise, it's there and it's ready for you. We'll include the link in the show notes. And Cam, aside from Juno and Poopy Poopy Dino, what is this Secrets of the Whirlpool Galaxy here that we have in Science and Space for this beautiful sci-tech?
Okay. So I kind of fused the video portion with the science and tech version. So there's 2 videos and an article from National Geographic that I have here. All right, we'll talk about this one here. Secrets of the Whirlpool Galaxy is it's a documentary. It's about half an hour long, done by the BBC, talking about M51, the Whirlpool Galaxy. So very interesting watch. I highly recommend it. You know, I just love these sciencey documentaries about space. But yeah, very, very interesting. I recommend it. The second video actually comes from NASA Goddard. I can't speak tonight. from the NASA's YouTube channel, exploring Jupiter's magnetic field. This is in relation to the Juno probe, which should be reaching Jupiter in a
2
week,
days.
a couple of days. Yeah. Wait, no, isn't it?
Well,
on the
it's going to
4th?
be parking around on the 4th, but we're actually going to, the science instruments will be shut down so that everything will be devoted to all the engineering components, get the orbital mechanics and the correct orbit in place. And then once that's done, the instrumentation will be restarted, and then we're actually going to get real scientific data around August, late August, early September timeframe.
So, the thing about Juno, it's there to explore Jupiter's. It's going to do lots of science stuff, but this is explaining what it's going to be doing about Jupiter's magnetic field, which is ginormous. It's okay. Imagine this: if you could actually see magnetic fields, and you look up at the sky and look at Jupiter, the magnetic field would be about the size of the moon. That's how big it is. It actually extends like into the orbit of Saturn and beyond, possibly. It's absolutely humongous. So Juno's going to be exploring that. There's actually some advantages to mapping the magnetic field on a gas giant like Jupiter. One of the reasons is, like, here on Earth, we can map our Earth's magnetic field, but the crust of the Earth blocks us from seeing inwards. The crust is magnetized, so it blocks us from seeing inwards. Jupiter doesn't have a crust. It's pretty much a gas giant, right? So that will allow us to see all the magnetic convections and all that sciencey magnetic stuff in there. I'm trying to keep it simple here. So it's absolutely fascinating. One thing you guys might not know about Juno, it is actually the fastest spacecraft we have ever built.
The thing's booking at Warp 9 down the freeway.
Oh yeah, it's probably hitting transwarp. This is what was the name of that drive it has?
It's an ion
Is
drive.
it it's an ion drive. Thank you.
Is it an ion drive, really?
It is an ion
Great,
drive.
it's a TIE fighter.
Oh, you're funny. You're funny.
So
Yeah.
this ship is on the forefront of real life starships.
And
So
real
it's-
quick on the Juno, actual Juno experimentation, that the instrument package that they have on it to conduct the experiments, they're going to try and do as much data gathering as possible. Jupiter is a huge dynamo. It's, like Cam said, its magnetosphere stretches all the way over to Saturn. It's all the leftover stuff that the sun just could not gobble up, but somehow Jupiter captured all of this. What was the beginnings of Jupiter captured all of this. That includes a lot of the material that we are made up of ourselves. So something with Jupiter held on to all of the extra helium, neon, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, all of that in its gaseous state and its very tiny molecular and dust particle state, and just held down into this massive giant. It is so massive that if we stacked all the other planets together, all the asteroids, all the Kuiper Belt objects, and we stuffed it into one big massive ball, it would still be less than the mass of Jupiter. That's how big this mofo is. And we're still trying to figure out, how the heck did this happen here? How did this happen here? And how powerful is this dynamo? And why is it being sustained for so long? And if we understand elements of this, what the physics are that drives Jupiter's dynamo, we can then make, I'm extrapolating here, but we could then make discoveries into the insight of energy and energy generation. And we could take those lessons learned in physics and apply it here terrestrially to Earth.
Isn't not counting the sun, Jupiter, if I remember correctly, is 90% of the solar system's mass?
Excluding the sun, it's 98.
98. Thank
About
you.
98%, yes.
Yeah. So 98% Jupiter, and then 2% the rest of the solar system apart from the sun. And then, the sun is what, like, even more than that?
The
Jupiter's like,
sun in comparison is like what, 92 or 90. I have to go back and do this, but I think it's around in the 90s. And then Jupiter holds like about the remaining 8.5, 9%, and then everything else is 1%.
so
One
yeah,
ish to
it's
two ish,
basically
yeah.
it's a binary system, and then there's little bits and pieces left over.
Maria, calm down, girl. Don't be so savage. Anyway, what's this here that I see here? Something about rare dinosaur era bird wings.
Ah, yes, sorry. The third and last article I had here. This one's actually an article. The others are videos. Highly recommend you check them out from the BBC and from NASA Goddard channel. This one here is from nationalgeographic.com. And what they found. Now, all right, let's stop for a second. It's been common knowledge, or it's knowledge that's been progressing, that dinosaurs had feathers. Now, we've only known this because of fossil imprints. So basically, the images, or the negatives, or yeah, it's kind of like the negative image of the imprint of the wings left on sedimentary stones and stuff like that. So it doesn't really give us a lot of detail, but we do know that most, if not all, dinosaurs had feathers. Here's the thing: they have discovered um, wings from a bird-like creature, probably an early bird, uh, trapped in amber for about 100 million years. Exceedingly rare find. I mean, this is like the first time this has ever been found. And one of them was actually called angel wings or something like that, because the person that found it, or the jeweler, wanted to turn it into like a jewelry that was called angel wings or something like that. And these are so rare to find, primarily because the area that they're found, which is Myanmar, or whatever, however that's pronounced, is well, it's a war zone. Basically, it's got no real regulations and stuff, and the actual amber is highly possessed, or like people really want it for jewelry and stuff, and they consider any inclusions like these fossils that they find in them as imperfections, so they regularly get thrown out. But scientists absolutely love these, because there's so much information in them. Uh, so yeah, this is a 100 million-year-old piece of amber with bird wings, or wings from something that might have been a bird, or early protobird, or even a dinosaur from back in that time period. Very interesting article. I'm not going to go too much into it. I recommend you read up on it. Very interesting here. You know what? We haven't done an article about black holes in a while. I mean, we used to do black holes every week here on the show, but we haven't in a while. Thanks
Just wait,
for
just wait. I'm actually in contact with a buddy of mine who's in contact with a bunch of the LIGO folks, and they're getting some new data coming in about a month or so. They're going to release some good news. So once they get everything, all the I's dotted, T's crossed, and things triple checked,
Oh,
we're
wait,
going to
wait,
hear
wait,
something
wait,
good.
wait. Hold on. The gravity waves?
Shh, shh.
That's what the LIGO's there to detect. So,
Shh. Shh.
oh, okay. I'm excited about this. I would love to hear. But yeah, thank you, Frank, for
Hey,
reminding me
who
about
keeps
black
walking on and
holes.
off the bridge?
The bridge.
Keep hearing the door sound for some reason. Hmm.
All right, we're done. We're crazy enough to just say, yeah, we're having a good time over it. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Thank you, Maria, for giving us some insight into Cryptic Studios. We're looking forward to those names, and once you get permission, we'll call us, and we'll call you back. For everybody there on the show, drop your comments on the show notes. Drop them in all the forums that we have them on the Arc Forum, in Reddit, and on the YouTube. Yes, on the YouTube. I'm speaking like a congressman now. Ugh, something's wrong with me. Anyway, get in game. Play it. Get ready for AOI. Get your leveling guides ready. Get your gear ready for your new tunes. We'll see you in game. Have fun, everybody.
Good night, and remember, sell keys. Just flood the key market, please.
PPS stolen Santa Spencer.
Have a good night.
This is the Key Hoarder, SOB.
You know, they do say the internet's made out of tubes. So yeah, you have the YouTube and the red. Well, never mind. Bye, everyone.
It's a series of tubes.